Hi everyone, Kelly here, and welcome to the 4th day of Bookmas. And I am going to continue to talk about some of the ways that I want to reduce my physical TBR. I talked about on the 2nd day of Bookmas how I had 3 different plans for how to get my shelves down to 1 TBR shelf. Right now, I only own 1 bookshelf that has TBR books on it, and so I have like 2 to 3 boxes of books hiding in my closet, and I just want to get to the point where I have all my books on a bookshelf, and then I have another bookshelf where I have my read books. So I just want to reduce my physical TBR, and so I did one plan on the 2nd day of Bookmas, and today I want to talk about something that I'm really excited about because I haven't seen anybody else do this. I mean, I can't say that it is completely original, but so far, nobody I subscribe to does this. And I am going to be doing a scratch off. So I got this idea because I was talking to some friends on Discord through Merphy Napier's Patreon, and we were talking about those posters you can get that are like the 100 books to read before you die, and they're big scratch off posters. They're professionally made, and they're, poster size and everything. But the problem with those is that I have looked, and there's some of those books I just have no interest in, so I'm not gonna be able to complete that. I don't really have wall space to put a poster size book scratch off up, and I just really wanted to do my own. So I looked up how to make your own scratch off. I'll put the link down below to the YouTube channel that I watched. It was like a crafting channel, and she talked about how to make scratch offs on your own. And so these are all books that I would like to either try or unhaul in 2020. There's 24 books on here. So each month I will do a video where I scratch off 2 of them. We'll see what they are, and I'll either read them that month, or if I don't get to them, that means that I'm not interested and I'm gonna get rid of these. So all the books on this list, I'm gonna show you them all now since it's the first one. I won't go through like the full synopsis, just kind of talk about the genre and a little bit about each one. And all of these books are ones that I don't know a ton about, or I've owned them for a long time. And a lot of them were bought at like library book sales, so they weren't ones that were on my like to be read, either in my mind or on Goodreads. I just saw them and it was like, oh, I've heard of that before. I've heard of that author. And I haven't gotten around to reading them because they aren't like top priority. And that's 24 books that are taking up space in my closet or on my shelf that I don't want that to be. So I'm going to either read or get rid of all these through the scratch off. So let me just run through the 24 books really quick, and then we'll do the scratch off, which I'm really excited because it's kind of a game. And it's awesome. So if you feel like making yourself scratch off too, check out the easy video. It was like no time to do this. First, I have a thriller called Watch Me Disappear by Janelle Brown. This was totally like kind of either both a cover by, and it was really quick. I was reading the synopsis and it looked like it was kind of a survivalist kind of thriller, and I picked this up. I did read the first chapter and I tried a chapter tag, and I didn't love the writing, so I feel like I need something to force me to pick this up or it's not going to happen. Next, I got from a library sale Just Listen by Sarah Dessen. I've only read one other Sarah Dessen book, and so I'm just not like completely compelled to pick up another one by her. I have Uprising by Margaret Peterson Haddix. I also bought this from my library. I believe this is middle grade, and I think it's historical fiction. And then I have Origin by Dan Brown. This is the 4th book, I believe, in the series of Da Vinci Code, whatever his name is, Robert Langdon. And I had read all the other ones, and it's not like a favorite series, but they're fun, simple reads, but I just haven't really felt compelled to pick that one up yet. And then I have Everything I Never Told You by Celeste Ng. I got this at a discount bookstore, and I don't really know much about it. People talk about Celeste Ng a lot, and since I just don't know much about it, I haven't been compelled to it. I have The Perfect Stranger by Megan Miranda. This was a half-price books kind of buy, and I believe she does thrillers, but she does both middle grade and adult, and I don't know which one this is. I don't know anything about that at all. I have The Lilac Girls by Martha Hall Kelly. This is historical fiction, I believe World War II. My mom gave me this book over 2 years ago, and I haven't picked it up. I have Last Child in the Woods by Richard Louv. Is that how you say it? This is a nonfiction just about how our kids need to spend more time outside. I've owned this for several years, and it's just very thick and very tiny writing. And so I need either the push or to get rid of it because I just hasn't happened. I have A Walk in the Woods by Bill Bryson. I think this is one of the longest books I've had on my TBR. I've owned this since college at least, which was like 16 years ago, and just haven't done it. It's nonfiction about his time on the Appalachian Trail. I have Memoirs of a Geisha by Arthur Golden, and this is one that a lot of people talk about. You know, it's older book, but I still hear people talking about it, and it's historical fiction. Need to get to it. I have a Christopher Pike book called Whisper of Death. I bought several of his books at a library sale, and I read one, really liked it, read one, didn't like it, so I'm gonna give him one more chance, and then if I don't like this one, I'll get rid of all the other ones I bought at that library sale, because they were like 25 cents a piece. I have If Tomorrow Comes by Sidney Sheldon. He was writing back in like the 70s and 80s, and he wrote thrillers. Then I have Magic Hour by Kristen Hanna. I got this at like a like a secondhand bookstore. Know absolutely nothing about it. I just liked The Nightingale, but I still haven't even read the synopsis on that book. I have Eliza Hamilton by Susan Holloway Scott. This is historical fiction, obviously, about Hamilton's wife, and my husband bought this for me because our daughter's named Eliza, and I just don't pick up historical fiction, and that's why there's a few in here. It just doesn't happen very often. I have I Owe You One by Sophie Kinsella. This is an ARC that I got in a little free library, and I've only read one other of her books, so it doesn't draw me in. I have The Lion Game by Ruth Ware. I really hated her first book, and this is one of her older ones, and so I'm kind of worried I'm not going to like it, but I've liked her most recent books a lot, so I want to at least give it a chance. And then I have Don't You Cry by Mary Kubica. I also got this at like a secondhand bookstore, and I've heard of Mary Kubica. I know she does thrillers, but I don't know what this book is about at all. But when I looked it up on Goodreads, it had pretty bad reviews, so that's why I haven't picked it up yet. I have The Wind-Up Bird Chronicle by Haruki Murakami. I hear about him all the time. He does magical realism, I believe, and this is a really big book, so I think I need the push in order to actually pick it up. I have The Hazelwood by Melissa Albert. I think, is this middle grade? I'm not for sure. Not middle grade. I mean, is this young adult? I'm not for sure, but it is fantasy. It gets really mixed reviews, and so that's why I just haven't really been drawn to it, because I just worry that I'm gonna fall in the like hating it category. I have The Survivors Club by Lisa Gardner. I do not know anything about this, but it was at a library sale, and I've heard of the author, so I wanted to give her a try. I have The Distance from Me to You by Marina Gessner, and this is young adult, and it is a survival story. I think these two teens get stuck on a camping trip. I think they're in the Appalachian Trail, and they need to get back to civilization. I have The Kite Runner by Khaled Hosseini, and I hear about this author all the time, but I've also heard that the books are really depressing and hard to read, even though they're good, and sometimes I just really need to be pushed to read something that's depressing. Then I have Rebel of the Sands by Alwyn Hamilton. This is a fantasy. I believe it's a series. I don't know if it's a trilogy or how long the series is. I've not really heard anything about this, but I've seen people haul it and seen it around Booktube, but I do not know anything about the synopsis of the book. And then I have The Reckless Oath We Made by Bryn Greenwood. It's a book of the month, but a friend of mine gave it to me. So she just gave me some of her book of the month books she's already read. She said she really loved it, but I just have heard absolutely nothing about it. So I haven't like been drawn to it. Okay, so those are the 24 books. So now let's get to the part where we get to actually scratch off one. Now, when I was making these, this is the top, I did not make an extra one to practice. So this will be the first time that I am trying to scratch one of these off. And I really hope that it works. Because like I said, I did not do a sample. So let me just pick one randomly. We're gonna just try this one and see what's on there. And see if I can get, it's working! That's so exciting. But it's harder than a regular scratch off, so I have to actually hold it down. I'll get it all the way scratched off later, but you can see that it, if you can, is Walk in the Woods. So that is the first one, Walk in the Woods by Bill Bryson. So that is a nonfiction. So hopefully I will get a fiction book in here. Let's go all the way to the other side, go this one. Try to scratch it in front of you, but it is really hard. Oh, I can see already what it is. This is pretty awesome that this is actually working. Like, I'm excited. You should do one of these. And it's Everything I Never Told You by Celeste Ng, where did I put that one? And this is a shorter one, so that'll be good because Walk in the Woods is a little bit longer. And so this is a fiction and a nonfiction. I think that's a great way. And this is a newer book and this is a much older book. So I think that's a great pick for January to be able to do two very different ones. So in January, I will be reading these books or I will be getting rid of them. If you have read any of these and want to like kind of vie for which one I should pick up first and which one you think is really good, go ahead and leave me a comment. I'd love to hear from you, and check out that video of how to do it. It really is super easy and is a lot of fun to be able to create your own scratch off. So I'll be doing this probably just in my TBR videos from now on for like February when I talk about my TBR. I'll just do it in that video there instead of doing like a dedicated scratch off every month. But I just wanted to introduce what I was doing for the year and what I'm really excited about. So I'm really going to be getting this physical TBR under control. Hope you guys are having a great holiday week, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Bye.